Oriana Goldenleaf. The valley of Evergreen nestled between the Whisperwind Mountains and the Sunken Mire. It weren't a place you stumbled upon, no sir. It called to folks, or so the stories went. And them that answered, well, they stayed. Houses bloomed from the earth like wildflowers, woven with living vines and roofed with emerald moss. Folks there, they weren't worried about droughts or floods, or the troubles that plagued the outside world. They just lived. Planted their gardens, spun their yarns, and sang songs that smelled of honeysuckle and rain. Everything moved slow and easy in Evergreena, a kind of peaceful hum that settled in your bones. It was too perfect, maybe. But who'd question perfection? I arrived late one autumn evening, dust clinging to my boots and a lute strapped to my back. Oriana Goldenleaf, they called me. A traveling bard, seeking a story. Evergreena wasn't on any map I'd seen, but the music drew me in like a moth to a flame. The villagers greeted me with smiles, too wide and fixed, and offered me a place at the hearth. But there was a stillness in their eyes, a lack of spark. Old Man Hemlock, the village elder, he watched me with a careful gaze, as if I were a stray dog he wasn't sure he wanted to feed. I felt a prickle on my skin, a sense of being observed. Something wasn't right. A song caught in my throat, and I knew, right then, Evergreena held a story all right, but it wasn't one they were eager to share. The first hint came during the harvest festival. A beautiful ceremony, all woven baskets and ripe fruit, but with an undercurrent of solemnity. They didn't celebrate the abundance of the harvest, they appeased it. Old Man Tiber spoke of the giving, a tradition stretching back generations. Every year, they offered something precious back to the earth, a sacrifice to ensure continued prosperity. He didn't say what they offered, only that it was a burden willingly borne. Then there were the gardens. Each one meticulously maintained, but in the center of every garden was a patch of withered, black earth, cordoned off with woven reeds. Folks avoided looking at those patches, whispering when they passed. It felt like a secret garden of sorrow. I started asking questions, subtle like. About the giving, about the black earth, about the history of Evergreena. Folks grew quiet, their smiles fading. Old Man Hemlock warned me about disturbing the peace, saying some stones are best left unturned. A young girl, Alara, tried to tell me something, but she was quickly silenced by her mother. I found myself followed, not openly, but a presence at the edge of my vision. My lute strings would snap for no reason, and the songs I tried to write felt wrong, tainted. One night, I awoke to find a woven reed doll placed on my windowsill, its eyes hollow and accusing. I ventured into the oldest part of the village, drawn by a faint, mournful melody. There, hidden behind a curtain of vines, I found a crumbling stone well. And in the well, flowers. Not fresh flowers, but pressed, withered flowers, arranged in a macabre bouquet. And beneath the flowers, bones. Small bones. Children's bones. Old Man Tiber, I realized, hadn't been speaking of offering fruits or grains to the earth. He had been speaking of offering lives. The prosperity of Evergreena wasn't a gift, it was a payment. A bargain struck with something ancient and hungry beneath the soil. They came for me under the cloak of night. Not with anger, but with a chilling calm. Old Man Hemlock and a group of villagers, their faces obscured by shadows. They didn't want to hurt me, they wanted to contain me. They offered me a potion, a sweet-smelling brew that they said would ease my mind. I knew what it was. A silencing. A forgetting. I refused, of course. And then they tried to restrain me, their grip surprisingly strong. They spoke of preserving the harmony, of protecting the village from the outside world. But all I saw was fear in their eyes. I fought, not with strength, but with sound. I grabbed my lute and played, a frantic, desperate melody that echoed through the valley. A song of truth, of sorrow, of defiance. The music seemed to agitate them, to crack the veneer of serenity they had so carefully constructed. The ground began to tremble, and a dark energy rose from the earth, drawn by the sound. They tried to silence me, but the music wouldn't stop. It was a battle of wills, a struggle for the soul of Evergreena. Finally, with a desperate heave, I shattered my lute, the sound reverberating like a gunshot. The energy recoiled, and the villagers staggered back, their faces contorted in horror. The truth, once revealed, couldn't be contained. The dark energy, unleashed, consumed the village, twisting the beautiful homes into grotesque parodies of their former selves. The earth opened up, revealing the ancient entity they had been appeasing for generations, a being of roots and thorns and hungry darkness. Some villagers perished, consumed by the entity's wrath. Others fled, abandoning their idyllic life in search of redemption. Evergreena was no more. Only a barren wasteland remained, a testament to the price of silence and the consequences of a bargain made with darkness. The songs of Evergreena faded into the wind, a cautionary tale whispered among travelers, a reminder that even the most beautiful of gardens can hide a terrible secret.